This week's Nifty Gifties on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by the Microsoft Store. Whether you're looking for a new laptop, tablet, Xbox, games, or a whole lot more, you can get them at the Microsoft Store. Remember, current students, faculty, parents, and active military can save up to 10% off almost everything. To browse the products and learn more about the discounts, you can go to f5live.tv/Microsoft. Well, we got chatbots talking to us in the YouTube chat right now, but for a little while, we're not going to talk about YouTube chatbots, but we're going to talk about a different type of chatbot, one that's been around for a while. Those are the ones that are built into the speakers in our homes and the little rectangles in our pockets. The three primary being Google Assistant, Alexa, and Siri. I apologize if I just triggered anybody's speakers or phones. They've been the chatbots that have followed us for the last couple of years. Microsoft had Cortana. There have been a couple of others that have come and gone. But as we've talked over the last couple of months about generative AI and what it is good at and what it's not good at, where it does work and where it doesn't work, one of the places that seems most natural for companies to start integrating it would be in the chatbots that they already have. Now, we know that the information that underpins some of this can be questionable. Google lost a ton of valuation when their demo of Bard lied on a number, was off by, 1,000x or something like that. But essentially, Bard is theoretically just an upgrade to Google Assistant. We know that Amazon has been working on generative AI technology. They've got it in AWS as a service, as well as the ability to create them as a service, which is interesting. So for sure, if Alexa survives 2023 and the chaos happening over at Amazon, we will see that technology implemented in there. But then there's Siri. Poor Siri. Since Apple bought the technology originally, they have really struggled with the back end of it. There have been a lot of theories on what's going on. Everything from a company that doesn't actually care about the product to a complete misunderstanding of how the back end works. Whatever the problem, there was a report this week from The Information, I think, about total dysfunction happening within Apple's AI division, explaining why we have not seen any real additions to Siri since about 2018 and why we shouldn't expect to see any anytime soon. There's so much dysfunction inside the company, in fact, that the theoretical, can we call it theoretical if we've seen renders of what Apple's mixed reality headset is likely to look like? Whatever. The mixed reality division has started to build their own voice control system because they so badly didn't want to work with Siri. Which is, I mean, talk about a slap in the face to a division. Hey, we have this technology that can listen to, understand, and act on human voice. Do you want to use it? No, we'll build our own. It's okay. So, like, this is the place that this is the seemingly natural progression of what these guys are up to. If Microsoft hadn't given up on Cortana just a little too early, Cortana would be entirely either Jarvis or Chat GPT based at this point, since even Word is. What do you think, Abram? If Apple's not able to somehow get on board and get out of their dysfunction, does Siri survive?
It's funny how Apple's kind of given up. It feels like they've given up.
It feels
Um,
Microsofty.
it's for like it's for get like, hey, we were the leader in this. Now we're giving up,
Yeah.
which is weird. So, what's interesting is if you look at the evolution of audio chatbots, and I actually think there's a good chance that all the AGI chatbots that people are using, which will eventually also be audio. I mean, there are ways of hooking into them with audio now,
Hmm.
um, but that they also will become more faddish. I was talking to my coworkers about Alexa, for example, and they used to use Alexa they used to think it was cool, and they'd have all kinds of conversations with Alexa, and then ask it silly questions, and then it was like, okay, I'm gonna use Alexa for a very specific thing. I'm gonna use it for smart home control.
Hmm.
Is that
What time?
artificial intelligence?
What
I
time is
wouldn't
it?
say so.
What time is it?
Yeah,
What's the weather? Turn on my lights.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, start
those
and
those
stop a
things.
timer. Remind me in 20 minutes to take the muffins out. That.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's good for that. It's good for that. Um, it's somewhat okay for giving voice commands to play music, but not great. Um, so that's all great. I mean, depending on the word artificial intelligence is means everything and nothing.
Yeah.
So, right now, when people say artificial intelligence, they're thinking about generative AIs that have the appearance of being like a person. Um, but there's an interesting question, which is that people do. How exciting is it? How useful in the long term is it to have something that talks to you like a person? Um, it it seems at first like, oh yeah, this is very, I don't know, for lack of better term, bourgeois. It used to be that only the rich could have people, could have servants to do things for them.
Hmm.
Now, you know everybody can have a servant who takes their commands and says they'll do it for you, and even calls the cable company for you, apparently. Do you
Apparently.
remember? I don't know. Did the thing where you could have Google call a restaurant and talk to the restaurant and book a reservation for you ever happen? I know they demoed that at one point.
Wow. I had forgotten about it, so that's not a great sign.
But if that's not available yet, I'm sure it will be. But the thing is, in a way, it's very insulting. First of all, to the person who has to answer that. Like, what you're having a robot call me as a person? You can't even bother giving a human's time. I don't know. We could go on about it for a while, but how this relates to Siri is, I think the novelty of having these chatty bots on your phone and in
Hmm.
your house via smart speakers is wearing off. Like,
Yeah.
voice command is a viable interface for doing things, but just chit chatting, asking questions, asking you for a history lesson or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, not good at that. Not good for that, because some things you're just better off looking up yourself and reading and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think there is an open question about. I think there's an open question about how useful, like in the long term, all these people who are chatting to Chat GPT just about any old thing, um, are I think are going to get bored of it too.
Yeah.
So is Apple falling behind in AI? I mean, it's voice recognition. There's a need for voice recognition, which is a form of machine learning, right?
Hmm.
And voice
Sure.
recognition is, as an interface, is not going to supplant every other interface, but is a valid interface that people need to use. But whether it needs to be chatty like a person is an open question,
Hmm.
and whether like that the novelty of that is wearing off. So Siri, could it like get something like ChatGPT into it? Almost certain. I mean, it would be trivial, right? Because
Right.
all Apple would have to do is pay for the and we'll talk about this shortly, to use the OpenAI API.
Right.
Then they are more than welcome to to pump that stuff into Siri. However, on the other hand, maybe Apple, if they have thought about this, have thought maybe they want to own the technology, but maybe they've also thought, hey, maybe we don't want to give people the wrong answers on our phone and be responsible for it, because there's a lot of problems with it. So,
sure.
I mean, I think the issue and why this is so newsworthy is because a lot of companies, including Google and probably Apple, saw ChatGPT become a thing in November, and they hit the panic button, and irrationally hit the panic button. So Google hit the panic button, and they came out with Bard, which is, inferior and plagiarizes people. And now they're going to integrate it into search because they're so interested in. But all this is about is really impressing investors and some business press. Yeah. Like it's a buzzword. Like Google will probably be better without having a chatbot on top of it. Siri might be better without trying to be an AI at this point. It might be better just taking your commands and doing what you say. But
it's setting your alarm for the morning.
So I don't know. Like, I don't really know if it's absolutely I think Apple and other companies think they have to have a product that they can say is an AI product, but it just shows how vapid the marketplace and investors can be, because a few years ago it was blockchain.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, blockchain, I got to have something that's blockchain. And you see companies calling things AI that are not. Right? Like,
and you had companies calling things blockchain that were not.
Right. So they just have to say something is AI. It's absolutely a bogus market. Like, I'm looking. I hate to say this, I'm looking forward to the crash. Unfortunately,
it will happen too.
It seems to, at this moment, be negative publicity averse, because we had someone kill themselves because of an AI bot.
Oh yeah.
We've had so people have died because of AI bots already. We've had all kinds of, we've had the Bing bot originally threatening people and asking people to leave their wives and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like
inventing alternate personalities.
Right. So, like, we've had all this bad stuff, and yet the train keeps rolling. People continue to get horrible, false information every day. And they're like, wow, this is great. I'm going to keep using it. So I don't know if I hope there's going to be a tipping point where people say, like, hey, wait a second, this actually is not such a great service. And the technology, the fact of machine learning and neural networks and large language models, they're not going anywhere. But at the same time, I think people have to contextualize what the tools are good for and what they're not good for.
Yeah.
And, I have some thoughts on what would be a responsible way to do that, which would be to begin with respecting intellectual property, and telling people where everything is from and paying the license, whatever you use, whatever the bots use. But
we're going to talk about that in a couple of segments. We're very AI heavy tonight.
So sorry, it's a thing, but it's of the moment right now. You can't walk away. Like, you could have put in one of today's stories that the head of Google AI resigned so that he could warn people about the dangers of AI. Did you see that story today?
I did.
That could have very easily been a discussion story for us.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So sorry, Siri. I mean, Apple is. I don't think Apple needs to do anything, and I hope that they realize they don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Apple is great at ignoring trends. And I used to criticize them for that, but I'll give them credit for that. Like, they never made a 2-in-1. They, they had a chance. Everybody in PCs was doing it. It was the thing. Everything's going to be 2-in-1 from now on. What a big deal. And we see that, like, 2-in-1s didn't go away, but the excitement of having a 2-in-1 and everybody's going to be in tablet mode, calmed down because they realized most people weren't using it that way. So, but Apple said,
I do.
Yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, I'm not saying nobody does.
I know, it was a joke.
I'm not saying absolutely
nobody,
but
aware. I am fully aware that I am the oddball in most industries.
But anyway, so Apple doesn't need to do anything, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they think they need to. Maybe the industry thinks they need to. Maybe Wall Street thinks they need to. In the end, as far as their product stack, I really don't think that they need to have like an AGI chatbot, or turn Siri into that.
Yeah. So perhaps in this case, it's their dysfunction that's saving them from going down a crazy path, rather than preventing them from competing with Bard in the Wild West that is the chatbot world right now. Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that. That's a fascinating take that I hadn't entirely thought about, but of course the industry might feel like they're falling behind, but Apple may not care because they recognize it as a trend that they don't care about chasing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. But with the reported dysfunction within the unit, it doesn't sound like even if they wanted to, they were going to be able to chase this. So this might work out in their favor. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.